as a postseason team in the NCAA tournament. Got to have this one. To that end, ASU has made a living beyond the arc in the 2 games against Arizona. They've averaged 29 three-point shots in each of those games.
Well, they really have. And I think if you're Arizona, you have to extend that zone and control the 3. Here's the deal with Arizona State, Barry. They do not turn it over much, and they're pretty good in the open court. So I think we've got a great, great start. Pacific Life Pac-10 tournament. It's high noon. We're at Staples Center. It doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah, and ASU has won 5 games in a row when it started to tip off before 1 o'clock. Who cares? Chase Budinger with Jamel Horn, Jordan Hill, Kyle Fogg, and Nick Wise for the Arizona Wildcats. For the Arizona State Sun Devils, and these lineups presented by Punisher Warzone. It'll be Pendergraph with Rehards Kupsix, James Harden, of course, the player of the year in the Pac-10 Conference, Ty Abbott, and Derek Glasser. And a lot is going to be asked of Glasser today. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game matchup, Daniel.
Well, you look at what a great matchup this is. Look at Jordan Hill, 17 double-doubles. He's been just tremendous. And of course, James Harden, the Pac-10 player of the year. He is not a volume shooter, Barry, but he scores a lot of points. He gets to the foul line. Just a difficult player to defend.
Yeah, no want for star power in this game as you look at James Harden. One of those guys that makes everybody on his team better.
Well, he really does, and there you get a great look at Chase Budinger, and what an end of the season Budinger has had. He's a guy averaging 20 a game. Nick Wise and Chase Budinger and Jordan Hill, 3 players, by the way, when they score big, all 3 of those players, Arizona's in good shape.
Yeah, which I think really puts the onus on the other guys, if you will. I think Arizona's got to get production out of Kyle Fogg. They have to get production out of Jamel Horn. Here's another little-known fact. The fact is, Arizona in the 2 games against ASU has only had 9 points off its bench, all 9 from Jamel Horn. And one other note, Jordan Hill playing at about, according to his coaches, about 60%. He's still hurting after that ankle sprain.
Jordan Hill sprained his ankle in Seattle against Washington. Went out of the game. Who would have thought he would return? Many people thought he wouldn't return the rest of the year. He came back in that game and played great. So he's a warrior. He's on the floor, and I'm sure he will give a good performance this afternoon.
Jamel Horn missed the first shot of the afternoon, a 3-point effort.
Get a great look at the 1-1-3 zone of the Wildcats, and they are extending. So this may open it up inside, and right away, Pendergraph, who's had some pretty good games against Arizona.
Yes, he has.
Gets off with a deuce.
And an easy look for Pendergraph. High percentage shooter.
And that may be available for Arizona State if the Wildcats extend on that zone.
Yeah, it's kind of a pick your poison. You extend out, you leave your middle open. Harden intercepts the pass. Here comes Harden, pushing it all the way to the basket, finger roll.
It's a pretty good start for the Sun Devils.
I'll say.
You know, right away, who's their guy that scores inside? Who's their big guy, Pendergraph? Who's the player of the year in the Pac-10 Conference? You see a little glimpse of James Harden, and he steals the ball at a high rate.
Jordan Hill coming, tough shot, contested shot, can't get it to go. Ty Abbott pulls the rebound out.
Got to get to Kupsix, he's open, and he will deliver when he's available.
Try to drop that down, Hill got a hand on it. Horn clears. Let's get pass for Wise, open tray. You know, we keep talking about improving players in the Pac-10 Conference. Nick Wise certainly has to be spoken about in the same breath with the likes of Randall and Denton and some other talented guards in the Pac-10 Conference.
Nick Wise had a great year. I mean, he has done everything. Plays certainly big minutes for Arizona, and he runs this team. He shoots the ball. He defends. He's done a beautiful job.
Ty Abbott, and that is a huge shot.
That's big, because we know Ty Abbott has not been shooting the ball very well, and he's a good perimeter guy, but I think the coaching staff at Arizona State is waiting for Abbott to break out to have a huge game, and that's a big confidence 3 for Ty Abbott.
He has struggled mightily. Guy had 76 three-point shots last year, and this year has struggled all season long. Wise, tough shot. And Horn gives the Cats a second chance. Wise steps in, nice lead for Hill. Hill has to give it up. Great job by Pendergraph to recover. There's Horn. Jordan Hill. Just straightens up, shoots over Pendergraft, missed everything, but Fogg steps into the lane.
Got to be alert. You don't get a reset. Didn't hit the rim.
Buttinger misses. So right now, Arizona can't find it. Jordan Hill comes up short, and finally Glasser gets it out of there.
You saw Jordan Hill not much lift on those shots, and that ankle may be bothering him a little more than you think. I mean, he's having a difficult time really running up and down the floor.
Arizona just one of its first 7 from the field. This is Kyle Fogg. Now Horn, and he gets it. That's a 3.
It's a big shot also for the Cats. And an X factor for Arizona is Jamel Horn. The big 3, you know, will score. They can get a nice block there. Ooh, they're going to get a foul.
Ooh, I don't know. A lot of the ball, I thought.
And Jordan Hill, not a guy that complains a whole lot, but he certainly didn't like that call. And you get a great look at it here. Here's Glasser. I mean, that's kind of textbook Glasser. Oh, if he got him, he barely got him on the wrist. So good defensive effort inside, I thought, by Jordan Hill.
Jeff Pendergraft will go to the free throw line. Came off that Etiwanda High School team, played on the same team with Collison at UCLA, and 3 other D1 players.
And of course, Pendergraft really the heart and soul of this Arizona State program through the years. He was an econ major. He graduated in 3.5 years, and he's certainly another young man that's made big strides, don't you think, Barry? I mean, from when he started at Arizona State, he's just improved dramatically. And I think on the next level, you're looking at a guy that can step away from the goal. He's going to probably be more of a power forward type player. But, you know, he's got a bright future. Very smart, understands the game. And he's another guy, he's vocal. You know, he doesn't mind getting on his teammates. And if they're not playing well, he said, you know, one thing you can do, you can rebound and you can defend if you're not shooting the ball very well.
Yeah, no, he's been the stand-up guy. James Harden, of course, another one of the team leaders, but he's a much more quiet personality. Zane Johnson in the ball game now for Arizona. How about Wise?
Audio. Wow. Are you serious? How about that move? No, man, that really, in a lot of respects, shouldn't happen against the zone. That kind of dribble penetration.
Harden up top of Wise on him. Now Ty Abbott steps in, puts up a floater with the left hand. Ty Abbott out quickly, and that is a big, big key.
It's obvious the strategy for Arizona was to get off of Ty Abbott. Try to get on Keatsix on the outside, don't give him a look. But Abbott has been proactive with the ball. He's made a couple of solid moves.
Jordan Hill a little bit short, had a pretty good look that time. Abbott yanked it down, now Harden. 3-on-2, Harden pushes it all the way.
Well, he is a power player to the rim. And it's really difficult to take a charge on him because he's so strong and active in the air. He avoids you. Well, that's why he's player of the year.
Yeah, pretty good move. That's something to do with it. Wise will draw the foul. He'll go to the free throw line. I think they'll get Ty Abbott on this foul. And with that, we'll get our first timeout. 13-8 ball game. Arizona State over Arizona. 14:46 remaining first half. Devils lead it by 5. 14:46 remaining to be played in the first half. Let's introduce our man about the Staples Center these days. He's Chris McGee. Chris.
Thanks, Barry. One of the players I want you to watch is Jeff Pendergraft from Arizona State. You guys have talked about him early on. He has 4 quick points. James Harden calls him the heart and soul of this program. He has played in more games than any other Arizona State player in history. He's never won a Pac-10 tournament game or an NCAA tournament game. And Barry, as you mentioned earlier, he has had huge success against Arizona's Jordan Hill. The last 4 times they played, Arizona State is 4-0. He's averaged a triple-double. He shoots 63% from the field and 85% from the free throw line. And now, Dan, you and I talked before the game. Jordan Hill, one of the most improved players in all of college basketball. I know you love this matchup. Why does Jeff have so much success against him?
Well, Chris, I think Jeff is a player that scores so well around the basket. He's active, and he's got size and length, and he bothers Jordan Hill defensively. And I think Jeff Pendergraft is just a player that's developed, a senior, and has had really a superb year. So, that's a good story you gave us. And I really like Pendergraft's game. So he has been really, really good most of the year against everybody, but especially against Jordan Hill.
Harden misses a three, and Hill pulls the rebound down. Hill has not contributed in the offensive end. He's 0 for 4. And, of course, Jeff Pendergraph has a lot to do with it. He's Hill up at the elbow now. Kuksic's on him. Wise with 7 of Arizona's first 10 points.
I think Jordan Hill's going to really have to make himself available down low to open it up on the outside. He'd love to attack down deep. Pretty good defensive set. Shot clock now.
I'll say it is. And they're not going to get a shot off. In fact, they turn it over. A shot clock violation.
I think if you're Russ Pennell, the other disturbing start to this game is he's not been able to keep Arizona State away from transition scores. Harden is not a player that you want to defend when he's on the dead run, because he's going to the goal every time and he finishes.
Near steal by Zane Johnson. Now Harden up between the circles. Glasser and Harden, of course, high school teammates, best friends. Glasser, a little pump fake. Not a three-point shot. Now he kicks it out. Abbott again. How do you like that? Abbott shooting only 20% from three-point range this year. Knocks down his first 2. Zane Johnson misses at the other end, but Hill missed the putback, drew the foul. They'll get Abbott on the foul, and Hill will go to the line.
Yeah, great move by Jordan Hill that time to get active inside. But how about Ty Abbott? Ty Abbott, what a great job. When he made his first one, you know, his confidence went way up. And I think Hill a little bit frustrated because he's a player used to scoring. He wants the ball. And that time I thought he got a little bit of roughness in him inside. He kind of pushed a few people out of the way and did a good job to get that rebound.
Misses the first free throw. There's no question he is not 100%. 1 out of 2. Glasser penetrate, leads for Pendergraph. What a play. Big time play by Glasser.
Yeah, the thing I love about it, if you're going to press a team like Arizona State, go to the goal if you've got numbers. And Glasser, certainly the right guy with the ball. Look at Glasser, he's hesitating, and then he sees Hill come over to him, so that's going to leave Pendergraph wide open. As soon as Jordan Hill went over to Glasser, Glasser knew Pendergraph was going to be in a great position, and Herb Sengnick cannot be more happy the way his team has started here at the Pacific Life Pac-10 tournament in this first game.
On both ends of the floor. Defensively especially, I think Arizona State's defense always triggers its offense anyhow, but they have held Arizona at only 36% shooting through the first 2 games that they played, and so far today just 3 of 11. 18-11 ball game. Arizona State over Arizona, 13-16 remaining first half. Long way to go, but right now ASU just really clicking on all cylinders. They're shooting 7 of 9 from the field. Ty Abbott with 2 threes and also a 2-point goal. But James Harden, he's really, you hate to use the old phrase, the straw that stirs the drink, but he certainly is.
This is timeout. Arizona coming out of it right now, trying to break a little bit of momentum. Again, you get a great look at the zone on the extension by Arizona State. They play that deep matchup. Buttinger's been quiet. Hill has been quiet. And we know that Wise, Hill, and Buttinger have to score big if Arizona's going to win.
Well, when they score 15 points, they win every game. Zay Johnson, the little tip in.
Now the press. Now remember, Glasser was the key guy in the middle.
Darren Shipness coming into the Sun Devils lineup. Now Glasser is going to try to back Wise down. Comes around the Pendergraph screen. Gets into the lane. Kick out for Harden.
It's a great job by Horn to get out on Harden. You cannot give Harden any open looks out there because he's got pretty good range. Didn't get that one down, but he's looking for it.
And he had a good look that time, too. Johnson runs it down. Harden has missed 3 3-point shots.
I think you've got to find a way to get Buttinger involved right now. He's been really quiet. I think Buttinger has to get very active and look at the goal. Well, Wise open.
Picks up a floater. Oh,
how about it?
Well, Wise is carrying the load.
Yeah, how about a little runner on the baseline?
But they got beat back. Pendergraft missed the follow. Harden missed the reverse. Pendergraft missed the follow. That will not happen often. Hill got pushed by Harden. Harden just knocked him out of the way.
And Barry, another steal by James Harden.
Glasser standing free a little bit short. Long rebound out to Glasser. That'll reset the offense.
See if they go right back inside to Pendergraft. Because that zone is, they're doing a pretty good job, Arizona, of denying some long-range threes. So Pendergraft should be available.
Yeah, they're paying a little attention to Ty Abbott now also.
Oh, you see that inside. I mean, Zane Johnson and James Harden were going after it. And Harden, I think there was a little push on Harden. Harden reacted and hit Zane Johnson. They called a double foul.
Yeah. Russ Penlover talking to this about Kevin Brill. It's an 18-15 ball game. Sun Devils lead it by 3. 11:08 remaining to be played here in the first half. What Arizona is trying to do is extend the nation's longest streak of NCAA tournament appearances, try to make it 25. Kansas, incidentally, lost today to Baylor, 19 consecutive, and they will make it 20. But Kentucky marginal.
Kentucky definitely on the fence with Kentucky, whether they'll get in and make it 18. Of course, Duke automatic. They'll make it 14 consecutive after this year, but that's a great run right there. And, of course, Michigan State had certainly a big year in the Big Ten, and they'll go from 11 to 12. And the question is, will Arizona go from 24 to 25? And there, Barry, take a look at the Pacific Life tournament summary.
So Arizona and Arizona State. Stanford plays Washington later on this afternoon. Winner of those two games hook up in the semifinals. Both USC and UCLA in the bottom half. And I still think Washington State comes into this tournament coming off a win last night. Arguably the hottest team in the conference.
Well, and don't forget, they did beat UCLA at Pauley Pavilion and only lost by a couple of points in Pullman. So that should be a great. I think every game in this Pacific Life Pac-10 tournament in Day 2 is going to be a wonderful game. And even you look at Stanford against Washington in the next game, and don't forget, Stanford played Washington twice, lost by 1 point in Seattle, and certainly in Palo Alto played them well too.
So good defensive set for Arizona. Now an opportunity to cut into this lead. And it's Jordan Hill.
Here's what I think about Arizona. I'm going to give you my take on it, because many times the committee, they got to look at the whole season. Now, they've had some really good wins this year. Kansas, Gonzaga, UCLA, Washington, and I think San Diego State's a good win. So now, what if they don't get another win, Barry? What if they lose this game? Well, definitely, and they're at the mercy of what happens in all of the other tournaments. But I think if they can get by with a win this afternoon, I think they're really in good shape to make it 25. And I think they got to get a little re-energized. I'd love to see Chase Bunneker kind of get into it a little more, get the ball and try to make something happen. I mean, there's a lot on the line.
Like that.
Absolutely. And that's what you want.
First lead they've had to run an 8-0 run and a chance to make it 9-0.
Yeah, there's his dad Duncan, and you know that he had to be suffering. I mean, what, 9 minutes or 8 or 9 minutes have gone by, and that's a great pass inside, a very good dish. And if you're not doing it from the perimeter, go low and try to make the goal.
And Bunneker converts the three-point play, and suddenly Arizona leads it by a deuce.
So here's your press, and there's your soft spot right in the middle, and they'd love to get it to Glasser. And Arizona's doing a better job of getting back.
Glasser has it knocked away, and they're going to say it's off of Nick Wise, and ASU will maintain possession. Harden off the inbounds pass, too hard off the glass, gets it back, tries it again.
Yeah, he may have shuffled a little bit prior to.
ASU has missed its last 8 shots, and some of them have been pretty good looks. They are also struggling beyond the arc. Only 2 of 8, both of those by Ty Abbott. Fogg. Glasser comes out on him. Now Nick Wise. Cutting a long three. And Hill over the top of the rebound. Big time rebound and the fill.
Well, if he's 60%, it's a good 60. Because I thought Jordan Hill in the early part of this game was being dominated to a certain extent by Pendergraft, but Hill has really come to life of late.
And Herb Sendick wants to stop the bleeding here. He's going to call a quick TO as his team suddenly has gone down 4. Watch Jordan Hill.
Yeah, and from the backside. And I thought Pendergraft felt like he had pretty good position to get that rebound, but Jordan Hill, active and efficient. And you're looking at a young man there that many of the pro guys think will go in the top 3 or 4 of the NBA draft. And here's a reason why. Not 100% with the bad ankle, but that's a way to finalize all the way through. An 11-0 run in the last 5 minutes by the Cats.
And they lead it by 4 with 8:56 remaining to be played. The adrenaline really flowing for Jordan Hill now, and that makes a bad ankle feel a lot better. Still to come today, we've got a whole slate of outstanding games. There is not a bad game on the board. After this game, Stanford and Washington. That concludes the day session this evening of the USC in California. A lot of people feel USC could conceivably get to the final or even win the tournament. And then, of course, UCLA and Washington State. I mentioned earlier, Washington State, arguably the hottest team in the conference coming into this tournament and coming off a win last night.
Well, I know certainly that the school of thought with the Trojans that they could go a long way, but how about California? Not many people speak of California, and Mike Montgomery's had a long time to prepare for this game, and certainly a great tournament coach. And they do, my recollection, Barry, don't they lead the nation in three-point shooting?
I believe they do.
So I wouldn't discount the Bears.
No, it is interesting, though. Nobody is talking about it. They've been steady all year, and I think that's one of the reasons people don't. Harden almost lost the handle and finally controls it. Now Cooks, it's open three. And it's just not dropping. Tyler Evans goes high for the rebound, can't contain it. It's going to get a push from behind on Pendergraft.
Yeah, not a good foul that time by Pendergraft because he needs to stay on the floor. You know he's trying to be active and trying to get the rebound, but in this situation there, a little too overzealous right in front of the official. You're going to get that call.
So right now, momentum has completely shifted to the Arizona side. Pendergraft will take a seat on the bench, and Eric Boateng will come on. Second personal foul on Pendergraft. He's not a happy camper.
Man, Boateng's done a good job for Arizona State, though. He's come in, he's been effective. Well, how about this one? Have to rotate the deep. Look at Boateng. How about that?
Finishes and one.
How do you like Eric Boateng that time to run the floor, coming off the bench and doing a beautiful job, but a wonderful pass by Harden. What else does he do? Look at this pass, and on the dead run, this is 6'10" or 11 guy handling the ball, doing a beautiful job to finish.
Now to try to convert the three-point play. It breaks a long Arizona run. 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Boateng cannot complete the three-point play, so it remains a two-point ball game.
And you know, Russ Pennell and Mike Dunlap are thinking, guys, if we shoot the ball and we miss, okay, but let's rotate our defense so we don't give them an easy layup at the other end.
Buttinger behind his Jordan Hill screen, and Boateng with a rebound. Harden got a pretty good size advantage on Nick Wise. Wise compensates with great quickness. We got a timeout on the floor. 7:32 remaining in the first half. We got a ball game. Arizona 22, ASU 20. Zona leads it by a pair. 7:32 remaining to be played here in the first half of a game Arizona needs. Here's the winning touch, a touch of gray from Just for Man. Three-point shooting.
And effective three-point shooting in their last matchup. Look at Kutsic from the corner, and of course Glasser and Harden, and they started in the first half of that game, Barry, 10 of 16, a big win by 2 in Tempe by Arizona State.
Wound up 13 of 30 in this game. Sun Devils just 2 of 9, Arizona just 2 of 7, so neither team exactly lighting it up.
And Arizona State, as you see in that graphic, they have won the last 4 after, of course, Arizona through a stretch of many years, put in a pretty good run against Arizona State. But it's all been Sun Devils the last 4 meetings. The other key thing is, as Derek Glasser said, he never won a game in the Pac-10 tournament. That's right. The Pacific Live Pac-10 tournament. He'd love to get a win here.
Glasser open for 3 and knocks it down. And the Sun Devils go back in front. Leave Glasser open and he'll hurt you. Pendergraft remains on the bench with the 2 fouls. Probably stay there for a little while, I would think.
Yeah, I would think that, Herb Sendek would like to, if he can, just keep Pendergraft with the 2 fouls and not get him in at all for the remainder of the half, unless he's forced. And there's Bunningham's going to try to post up, and he may have been fouled.
And Ty Abbott going to be guilty of the foul.
Yeah, Chase has not had the best of it from the perimeter. He's been defended well, but I think that was a smart move. He sensed he had a small player on him. Why not go near the goal and see if he can receive the ball?
Jaron Shipp will replace Ty Abbott. Jordan Hill way outside. Now he just handed off to Wise. Now Horn.
It's a great camera angle to see that matchup zone by Arizona State, how they extend, how they follow players.
Good job by Boateng, even though Hill knocked it down.
It was a good job by Boateng, but Hill's still able to turn and make it.
That's the thing you got to like about him. He's got a little range. He can step out 15 feet. He's got 7 ball game. That's a very quiet start. Harden double clutches, goes down hard, scores.
Got to get down that left hand if you're defending James Harden. Now he can go right, but he's like unbelievably going left. You've got to force him the other way.
We've seen teams overplay him, way overplay his left hand. In fact, Arizona was one of those teams that did that. Not so far tonight, though.
They want to get the ball right here to Jordan Hill. They'd love to try to find him, see if he travels. He did. I think if you're Russ Pennell and the coaching staff, you like the matchup, he against Boateng, but Hill's got to be solid. And here's Harden. You see him going left there. Now, once he puts the ball on the ground, and he's so explosive and goes very high and finishes that he seems really tough to handle. Arizona looks like a straight man-to-man now. They're out of that hot matchup, this straight man-to-man the last couple of times down.
Krugsic, a little pump fake, had a look for a minute. Now he puts it on the floor, lost the handle, out of bounds, off of Jordan Hill. Remember, Arizona, most people feel, and they themselves feel, they need this win to assure themselves of an NCAA berth. Jaron Shipp. Here's Wise burning it back the other way. Kyle Fogg loses a man. Now Horn up top for 3. Good, well executed.
Yeah, good answer. And if you're Arizona, you better retrace your steps because the Sun Devils love to get it out quickly and come right back at you.
Krugsic.
You're right, Barry. Most people think that Arizona, to get in the NCAA tournament, that this is a win they need. I still think their body of work, and they've had some really good wins, will bode well for them, but they're really going to be dependent, if they lose this game, on what happens on all the postseason tournament. I think if they can get a win here, they're going to be in good shape.
You don't want to leave it in the hands of the select.
Hill, I think that's going to go. That's the other thing about Jordan Hill. He uses that left hand now. And a good little, nice footwork inside. Watch the footwork when he receives the ball. The good pass from the, look at that footwork, trying to keep it down, and then go with the left hand. And, you got the fortunate bounce, but a nice move to draw the foul and then finalize.
Hill started the game 0 for 5 and has been 4 of 4 since.
And remember about Jordan Hill, as you look at the great numbers on Hill, he only started playing basketball as a sophomore in high school. So, this guy hasn't been playing for a long time.
He's got a huge upside. As one of the coaches was telling us, there's no ceiling on Jordan Hill. And Hill converts the 3-point play. He's got 10 points in the ball game, and his team back out in front by 2.
And the press.
Pendergraft incidentally back in the ball game, so Herb Sendek rolling the dice a little bit here, and I expect he'll be tested down at the other end.
Now back to the zone again. I thought the Cats went man-to-man a few times down, but now they're going to go back in that 1-1-3 zone. You've got, Kutsic out of the game, so that may be a reason. He's a great perimeter player. That may be a reason why the coaching staff wants to go back to the zone.
Pendergraft juggles it finally, comes back to glass. There on the shot up. And Harden forces the shot, couldn't get it to go. Great defensive set once again by Arizona. And this time almost stepping in front was Harden, but it's going to be out of bounds to Arizona off of Harden's hands. We'll take a timeout with 3:48 remaining to be played in the first half. 30-28 Cats. Talked about what a terrific event this is. This game, Arizona leading over Arizona State by 2. 3:48 left first half. If you want to come down to the Staples Center, certainly a great venue to see a great event, and it's a deal, and we got a deal for you. Only $40 for any session. That includes doubleheaders both tonight and tomorrow. Great games tonight, and of course, probably even better games tomorrow. You can come, $40, any session, 2 games, a twofer.
Well, look at tonight's games. I mean, if you come down to the Staples Center, you've got USC in California, and of course UCLA, Washington State. I mean, 2 unbelievable games that we'll have tonight here at the Staples Center. So that is a good deal. So hoping folks that take advantage of it.
Pacific Life Pac-10 tournament, always a great event. And this year particularly.
And a lot.
What a play that time.
Yeah,
behind the back trailer, Harden.
Boy, that was beautiful.
How many times do you suppose those two guys
Well,
have done
I think they probably worked in the summer quite a few times on that move. Maybe at Artesia High School, they did that little drop pass in the open court. Maybe Russ Pennell taught him that in the summer when Russ was an AAU coach, and he was doing radio for Arizona State, and he worked with Pendergraft and worked with Glasser and had like a summer program at Jim and AAU, and then lo and behold, a year later, he's coaching against him.
That's a great pass by Wise to Hill, and Hill with the big finish. Hill's got 12, and he has really come on. Pendergraft has to be a little, because Pendergraft's not in the ballgame right now, but with the 2 fouls.
Yeah, the other good news for Arizona is they're not in any foul trouble at all. And you know that they've got about a rotation of 6, maybe 7. Certainly Wise, Buttinger, and Hill need to be on the floor, and they're in pretty good shape in terms of any fouls. That's where Arizona gets in jeopardy. Now again, a good defensive set.
Gotta get a shot up here. 2 seconds. Glasser has to throw up an off-balance shot that drops.
Well, he planned that.
Yeah.
He didn't even hit the glass. It looked like it deadened on the back rim and dropped.
What a great effort for Derek Glasser.
Well, he's a great young man.
Does all those little things. Most importantly, takes care of the basketball.
I remember in a game he played against UCLA, played 42 minutes in an overtime game with no turnovers.
Yeah.
So Derek Glasser, you bet he takes care of the ball.
Sun Devils only have 2 turnovers in this game, incidentally. In fact, it's been a very well-played game on both sides.
Well, as the shot clock is winding down and being defended by Wise and off the wrong foot, he gets a nice friendly roll. But how about the great, just drop it. And I love hitting the trailer. And that's communication and just good vision that time by Derek Glasser to know his teammate is right behind him. And, of course, what a guy to pass it to. James Harden.
Yeah, pretty good chance.
Yeah, pretty good chance that he'll make it.
And I think Abbott caught a finger in the eye inadvertently from Zane Johnson, and Abbott's going to go right to the bench.
Now, what a great start by Ty Abbott, so they can afford to lose him. Hopefully he'll be all right.
He's still in some pain. Now Abbott will come to the bench. Pendergraft back in the ball game for the Sun Devils with 1:42 remaining.
Arizona only 4 team fouls in this first half, so they got a couple of fouls to take.
Penetration and kick out. Gallagher jumps out on Chip. Try to go over the top of Pendergraft, and it's going to be out of bounds 2 Arizona. Pendergraft stepping on the baseline. Well, a reminder coming up at halftime. You can see the guys up there getting ready. The defending national champions were beaten today. They'll tell you all about that in the Big 12. And that at-large bid, they'll bring you up to date on everything that's going on. It'll be Donnie and Ernie Kent, and Michael Eaves tell you all about it. Bring you right up to date. You won't need to know anything. You don't have to read a paper. Don't have to do anything. I'm going to give it all to you. Tied at 32, 120 remaining in the first half. Been an excellent first half. 2 ties, 5 lead changes.
I think, too, if you're Herb Sendek, I mean, you've had your, one of your stars has not played for about 9 minutes, and Pendergraft with 2 fouls, and they've hung in there, so they're even. I mean, I think you'll feel good about it if you can go in even or maybe a few down. Good follow there to get it in by Horn.
Sure was. Had to fight to control it, still managed to wedge it off the glass and in. So now it's Zona by 2.
You can really get aggressive if you're Arizona. I mean, you certainly don't want Wise or Buttinger or Hill picking up fouls, but if you're Horn, if you're Zane Johnson, get up on guys. You've got 2 fouls to take as long as you don't foul in the act of shooting.
Arizona on the offensive board, brilliant. 7.
They're going to get that offensive. Buttinger that time, I thought it might have been a little pretty good acting job, I thought, by Chase. But see, that's a veteran play. That's a guy that's been around. Now, was there a lot of well, he did. Yeah, he did push him off.
He did.
That's a great replay because I didn't get a great look at that the first time. But you're right, Buttinger got a little swipe on the chin, and the official right on the spot. That's a good call.
So now, Arizona an opportunity to get the last shot here and take a lead in at halftime. Got 11, now 10 on the game and shot clock. Guy's going to back it out. Got to hurry here.
Yeah,
6 seconds.
May high screen and roll. Well, that's a long time.
And it did not go, and the first half comes to an end. Not the best clock management for the Arizona Wildcats on that last possession. Arizona finished the last 5 minutes of the first half on a 10-4 run, and they will take a 2-point lead to the locker room at the end of the first 20 minutes of action. And I thought they played very well. In fact, I thought it was a very well-played game on both sides. Right now, let's take you over to Chris McGee, and Chris is with Russ Pennell. Chris.
Thanks, Barry. Coach, as you expected, this is going to be a tight ball game. I know you guys wanted to defend the 3. I think Arizona State was 4 of 13. Are you happy with the way you guys did that?
Well, I think we're a lot more active. We're flying around. We know how well they shoot the ball, so our activity, I think, helped us that first half.
Jordan Hill really came on at the end of that first half. Was there some concern those first few minutes? He looked like he didn't have any lift.
Well, I think that, as he gets loose and the game wears on, he's getting a little bit better. And I thought he was just a little bit lethargic, but we tried to get him touches, and when he gets his touches, he's pretty good.
Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Coming up at the Pacific Life Pac-10 Tournament halftime show, Ernie Kent, coach from Oregon, will join Michael Eaves and Donnie McLean. They will break down the first half, and they will preview this fantastic day of Pac-10 basketball. Also, upsets around the nation. National champs Kansas lost. Stick around. Don't go anywhere.
Center and the Pacific Life Pac-10 Tournament. It's Arizona and Arizona State, and it is the Sun Devils who trail the Wildcats by a pair. Here's the Pacific Life game summary, Dan.
Well, you take a look at the three-point shooting, and both teams, one made 3, one made 4, and the rebounds all Arizona, which is a very good sign, and certainly both teams doing a pretty good job of taking care of the ball. The big thing is I really think Chase Buttinger, there has to be a sense of urgency with Arizona coming out. They've got a 2-point lead. If you're an Arizona fan, you'd love to see him get off and get a couple of field goals early in this second half.
Well, the first half really was a tale of 2 halves. Arizona started 3 of 12, and they finished the first half 10 of 15. Arizona State started the first half, 7 of 9, and finished 6 of 16. And that is where we are, 34-32. Arizona.
And the other important factor is that Arizona, which plays, just about 6 guys, not in any real foul trouble. And there you see Buttinger trying to get proactive going to the basket, which I think was a smart play, just not able to get it down. So much on the line for the Wildcats. And, of course, Arizona State, they'd like to go as far as they can in this Pacific Life Pac-10. They've never won. They haven't won a game in in this Pacific Life Pac-10 tournament since what, 1990. So they'd love to get off and get a few wins.
They won in 1990 when Bill Frieder was the coach. Kuchik 0 for 2, now 1 for 3. 35-34, Sun Devils now. Just getting started here in the second half. One cut off, almost threw it away. Fogg controls it, Wise for 3. The short, Kuchik the rebound. Ahead to Pendergraft, but Wise steps in front.
Great job by Wise to retrace his steps, save the goal there.
Took out Buttinger, open look.
He needs one, he can't get in it. Now he's 1 of 8 in this game.
35-34, Sun Devils over the Wildcats. Arizona yet to score here in the second half.
And be alert right here for Kuchik, because he made a goal coming out, did not get a free in the first half, and he shoots predominantly threes.
It's Harden for 3 and he knocks it down. Well, and there is Bill Frieder. Fried tells a really interesting story about that win. And even he was awed. He was talking about the fact that that was his first year as coach at Arizona State. And they came here to beat Oregon State, who was ranked number 5 in the country, as Wise knocks down a 3. And he said that made him 15 and 15, and he had a clause in his contract that if he finished 500 or above, he got a $40,000 bonus. Well then, out of the blue came an invitation to play in the NIT. He said they'd never take a 15 and 15 team in the NIT. They took them, and he lost to Long Beach State. He lost $40,000. 3-point lead now for the Sun Devils. Jordan Hill almost got that to drop as he was falling down.
Looking for Kuchik in the corner, wide open. Buttinger did go.
How about it? Big time play by Kuchik.
Yeah, he has made a couple of sensational passes. Quick timeout by Arizona. Kuchik's coming alive. Good job on the 3. Didn't take it in the corner, used his dribble penetration, and found the open guy going to the basket. Look at this, well done. Look at him drop it, draw the defense, and give it up for a drop. We're coming back.
Back to Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles. Arizona State leading Arizona by a score of 42-37. James Harden on Monday named the Pac-10 Player of the Year, the 3rd player ASU history to ever win that, and only the 3rd sophomore to win. Jason Kidd and Mike Bibby were the other 2. James Harden, your U.S. Bank Player of the Game. And Dan, I think it paid off for James to stay back at school 1 more year.
Well, it certainly did, Chris, and of course James just having an outstanding year. I mean, you look what he has done in terms of points, and just had a sensational year. And it was, and the guy set it up in the studio well. I thought his first half of the year, Barry, was a little bit more productive than second half, but he's a guy that can rise to the occasion on all the big games, and playing well here this afternoon.
Jordan Hill misses, and Harden comes down with a rebound. Sun Devils start the second half 4 of 4. They lead by 5 with the ball. Ty Abbott had a great first half, best half that he's had offensively, probably going all the way back to December.
Looks like Arizona's going to switch it up, Barry. Looks like they're going to go more man-to-man. They're going to try to get out of that zone because Kuchik made him pay with a long jumper and the penetration. So high screen and roll. Look at Glass. Glasser is just a great decision maker with the ball.
Harden for 3. Short this time. And Johnson with the rebound for the Wildcats. Chase Buttinger, and they're just waiting for Chase to catch fire, and he can do that. Wise, tough shot. Couldn't get it, loose ball. Jordan Hill fights for it, controls it, puts it up and in.
And remember, Pendergraft does have 2 fouls, and Jordan Hill aware of it. A little bit surprised that Arizona's not directing the ball more to Hill. He's been very efficient at the low block, and if you can get that 3rd foul on Pendergraft relatively early in the second half, that could go a long way to the success of the Cats.
Second chance points really keeping Arizona in the fray here. There's Harden just off a little curl, and he finger rolls it in. 9-0 in second point chances.
Don't you love it when they start Harden low on the block and let him play without the ball and find him around the rim? Got to throw it a little bit higher.
Yep. Jordan Hill reminded Chase Budinger of that. 7th turnover.
Now back to the zone on the 1-1-3 to understand. So they're giving Arizona State different looks. One time man-to-man, they go back to the zone. They're certainly trying to give Arizona State different appearances on defense.
Sun Devils lead it by 3, and we're coming back.
Staples Center, Arizona State leading Arizona 44-39. Here's a big reason why. Watch Harden go all the way in, watch the screen, and then they roll him right around, and a beautiful pass inside. Watch Harden play without the ball. Here he comes. Watch Pendergraft screen, and if you roll behind that screen, Harden's like automatic. So what does he do? He drives his man under the basket, then he peels off, little two-man game. And that time, Arizona went man-to-man, and a good recognition by the Sun Devils. They went right to the Pac-10 Player of the Year, James Harden, and he delivered.
Well, remember how the first half started. It started with Arizona shooting 3 of its first 12, and started with Arizona State shooting 7 of its first 9. Well, we got a replay here in the second half. Arizona started 2 of 8. Arizona State, 5 of its first 6. It's a 5-point ball game. Ty Abbott, not this time. First miss of the game by Ty Abbott.
It's a good look, though. Glasser again setting everything up with penetration.
As Jordan Hill is going to face up this time and flips it up with the left hand. Couldn't get the roll. Fight for the rebound between Pendergraft and Hill, and Pendergraft controls it.
Well, Arizona, Barry, they can't afford too many empty trips. I mean, there's a long way to go in this game. But, there's got to be a strong sense of urgency for the Cats. I mean, they're playing for a lot here this afternoon.
Glasser had a very good look. How about the rebound by Harden right up over the top of Johnson?
You got to screen him.
What a block! And they're going to get Hill. Say he got him at the body. He got an awful lot of the ball.
When you are near James Harden on a rebound, just think I'm not even going to jump. Just keep him off the glass. And again, from the weak side, a little bit of contact, and Harden may have hurt himself on that move.
Holding his left thumb, and that is his shooting hand.
Barry, I know you know this. In the 30-year history of the Pac-10 Conference, there have only been 4 players, now 5, that have led the conference in scoring and steals. Now, I know you know all the players.
Well, I remember one of them, Jason Terry, of course, played for Arizona.
And another one by the name of Gary Payton.
He was a good player. In fact, it was Gary Payton's team with Bill Frieder's Arizona State team beat in 1990 for their last victory in this event.
And you remember the other player that led the conference.
Well, Brandon, I think he played for Ernie.
Pac-10, he was a Pac-10 Player of the Year. And the 4th played for George Raveling at Washington State, Doug Collins.
Not a bad player.
So now James Harden this year led the conference in scoring and tied with Seth Tarver in steals. So, in my mind, he's number 5. That it's in the 30-year history of the conference that's led the conference in scoring and steals.
Pretty impressive. They call a foul on Jeff Pendergraft away from the ball. That is his 3rd. So you can expect the Wildcats to look to Jordan Hill more and more.
Why not? I think right now, take the time to give the ball to Jordan Hill if you can find. Here he is right here. Give him the basketball and see if he can make a play. Well done. Beautiful recognition. And I think you go back to that. Do it again the next time down the floor.
So Hill with 16. Near turnover there. A 3/4 court pressure here for the Wildcats.
And remember the soft spot. They'd love, if you're an Arizona State fan, they'd love to get it to Glasser, number 12, right in the middle of the floor.
There's Ty Abbott. Got it down to Pendergraft. Pendergraft got a little chicken wing that time on Jordan Hill, and Budinger comes away with it for the Cats. Cats down 5 now with the ball.
Okay, remember, they're looking again. Remember Pendergraft with 3 fouls rather. So they want to get it again to Jordan Hill. And they're doing that. And see if he's going to get it up inside.
Buddinger's still struggling.
Yeah, he just cannot finish. So it's been a tough afternoon for Chase Budinger.
1 of 9.
It's amazing, Barry, that he's 1 of 9 and the Cats are still in the game.
Also, how about Glasser? Great play to break it down. It's a 7-point ball game now. Jordan Hill, dish to Budinger. Budinger comes underneath and just did get that one to go.
Not much pressure by Pendergraft either. Of course, the 3 fouls.
Hill and Pendergraft really having a battle down on the block. Here is Pendergraft. Pendergraft throws the crowd. Gets it back to Harden. Harden puts it on the floor, got mugged by Nick Wise. Wise says, what'd I do?
That's a good call. There was definite contact. Second foul on Nick Wise.
Well, Derek Glasser just broke it down here. Watch this play. Got right by Budinger, tucked the ball away, and then gets it home with the right hand. ASU leads it by 5, just under 12 minutes remaining to be played in the ball game. Well, here's a simple fact. When Chase Budinger, Jordan Hill, and Nick Wise each score 15 points, Zona is undefeated. Budinger so far tonight has 5. Nick Wise doing his part with 12, and Jordan Hill has 16. So Budinger, the big question mark, he has struggled mightily from the field.
Well, he has struggled, but still 12 minutes to go, and certainly I'm sure Chase Budinger is not happy with the fact he's not a little bit more productive, but they still got an eternity in this game. And the big 3, you take a look at the numbers, as we said, Barry, right now with 16, 5, and 12. So you would think Nick Wise on his way to 15. Of course, Hill already there, and Budinger's got to pick it up a little bit, but he can't. I mean, he's been averaging like 20 a game over his last 10 games. So you would think he would get it going.
Drop it down this time to Pendergraft. Now kick out Harden. Glasser on the baseline. Let's back it out. Let's start again. Now Harden puts it on the floor. Saw Hill in his way. Leaves for Glasser for 3. It's going to go. With the rebound over the top to Pendergraft. Up top it goes again to Harden. Glasser drives baseline. Kick corner for Abbott. Now keeps it open play. All but the finish.
See if they go right. Well, they're going to attack the tough shot. That was a shot you'd like to get back, especially when you've got Pendergraft as foul charge.
Great ball movement on the last possession for the Sun Devils. They just didn't finish it.
Yeah, great spacing. It's a great camera view, and you watch how Arizona State, they rely on dribble penetration so that 2 players end up guarding the ball, which obviously allows 1 player to be free. So the Sun Devils like to penetrate. There's Pendergraft, fall away.
One go, Johnson, rebound. So the Cats doing more than just hanging around. It's a 5-point game, a world of time, not even midway point of the second half.
And I think Arizona State waiting for him a little bit too. See, again, you're relying on perimeter jumpers when they've been able to be so effective at getting scores on the low block. Where their last 2 scores come from, it's come from Hill and a Budinger penetration. Right. Because Pendergraft's not going to defend you very hard. He's got 3 fouls.
2-6 up top now. Ty Abbott way away from the basket. Abbott with the penetration, put it up the right hand, won't go. Pendergraft can't control the rebound and comes down to Jamel Horn.
Yeah, Hill may have got a piece of that as he took it all the way in.
Now they drop it down to Hill. Hill working on Pendergraft. Bumps off and putting on right hand, comes up short. Pendergraft the rebound.
Right idea, but Barry, what did he do? He faded away from the goal instead of going toward the basket, so that you have the opportunity to pick up that 4th foul on Pendergraft.
Well, you talk about the fact that Arizona State is waiting for Arizona. You might say the same about Arizona. Nobody has scored in the last 3 minutes. Right now, let's take a moment for the HTC Fuse timeout. The HTC Fuse has full internet, which allows access to foxsports.com for scores and highlights. Grab a video highlight from tonight's game and share it live during calls. The HTC Fuse, experience the reaction. Well, the Wildcats have started out under very tough circumstances this year, with Lute Olson stepping down, of course, and Russ Pennell and Mike Dunlop coming on to coach this team. They finished 19-12 in the regular season, 6-4 over their last 10 games. Have an RPI of 52. We talked about their key wins. They beat the Zags, who many people feel are the best team on the West Coast right now. Kansas, who lost today to Baylor, but nonetheless, outstanding team. UCLA, they've had quality wins. Maybe they could get into the tournament without winning this game. But as you look at the Dean, Lute Olson, he has been at most of Arizona's games down the stretch, but most people feel they've got to have this game.
And Lute in real close contact with Russ Pennell, and certainly I think a definite feeling that Arizona's got to win this game to get in the NCAA tournament. Glasser's just been sensational. I mean, he's just using his dribble, breaking down the defense, which is difficult to do if you're zoning all the way from the point. But Glasser's really been a difference maker this afternoon.
Just a real smart player. Zane Johnson, long three. And Wise will give the Cats a second chance. Still not looking low as much as I thought they might. Pendergraft trying to front hill.
Takes a lot of skill to play in foul trouble. And of course, Pendergraft, a senior, doing a good job of moving his feet and just trying to play good position defense.
Now they get it to Hill, but he's out away from the basket. He's again for three, and again he's short. And Harden with a rebound. So nobody able to do much business. Just one basket in about the last 4 minutes. That one just a moment ago by Glasser.
And frustration starting to set in with Arizona. I mean, you look at those numbers, and the Cats, you know, they're looking for a little spark. And I think Russ Pennell and his staff hoping that they can get it going. But he does not miss many of those open shots.
No, he had a great look that time, too. Here comes Wise for the Cats. Penetrate. Now Johnson coming off the baseline, draws the crowd back to Wise. Harden jumps out on him. Wise just lost it that time, but they're going to get Harden on a foul.
Yeah, if it's Harden, I believe it's his third.
It is.
So Harden with three, Pendergraft with three.
And now Jared Shipp going to come into the Arizona lineup. Kyle Fogg comes back for Arizona, and Zane Johnson leaves. Russ Pennell has only played 6 people in this game.
Well, you can't say enough, Barry. You kind of touched on it, the job that Russ Pennell and his staff has done with this Arizona team. I mean, many of these players, they've had different coaches each year they've been at Arizona, so it has not been really an easy transition from that standpoint, but the players have bought in, and certainly a lot to play for. And of course, Russ was in the radio booth last year at Arizona State, working with AAU teams, and in fact, coaching in his AAU games. He was coaching, you know, Harden and Pendergraft and Glasser at Arizona State, and now, you know, coaching against them.
That's right. So there's no secrets.
No, not many secrets. Well, there's not many secrets, period, at this portion of the year. I mean, everybody in this Pacific Life Pac-10 tournament, everybody knows each other well.
I think it's fair to say, I mean, Russ Pennell and his assistant Mike Dunlop, his whole staff have done absolutely as good a job as you could have expected under the circumstances.
Yeah, Reggie Geary, I mean, they've done a great job. They're trying to get recruits in, even though they know there probably will be a coaching change. But and they've had, you know, one player commit already. So, you know, Reggie Geary does a great job in that area.
Now Kuchik again in the corner, and this is your second one in a row. Bettinger couldn't handle the rebound, and it's knocked away from him by Horn and controlled by Jaron Shipp. So the Sun Devils will get a second chance. Kuchik's just 1 of 6. He's a better shooter than that. At one time led the nation in three-point shooting. Ty Abbott from the corner. And Ty Abbott hits his third.
And Kuchik, I thought, had a good look, but because he's missed a few, he gave it up to Abbott in the corner, and that's a big score.
Biggest lead of the ball game now for the Sun Devils. They lead by 8. There's Hill. They're looking at Kuchik pull up, and it won't go, and they just cannot find the basket.
big portion of the game for Arizona. I mean, we've got Nick Wise out of the lineup, and guys like Harden just using the dribble, Glasser penetrating, Abbott making threes. Sun Devils doing a great job here in the second half.
Really under control
Another
for
timeout
Harden on that last sequence, too. He saw Hill right in front of him, and he just pulled up and just kind of lobbed it in. So a 10-point lead, biggest lead of the ballgame for either team. 6:33 remaining, and right now Arizona just has a lid on the basket.
And this is the biggest, probably, timeout of the year. As you look at Manya Harding, James's mom, and she's got to be happy. What a nice lady she is. And she got to be really proud of James. Look at this move here. And you know what I love about it? Under control, doesn't charge, and he's got that big smile on his face. There's your Pac-10 Player of the Year, and doing a great job.
Sure is. Take a look at the brackets and where we are here in the Pacific Life Tournament. The winner of this game, of course, will go on to play the winner of our second game. That'll be Stanford and the #1 seed, the Washington Huskies. And then tonight, two great games, USC and California, Washington State and UCLA. I mean, those games, you go in there as a broadcaster, you go in to do that game, you generally have an idea who's going to do well, who might win. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's a hard call. Certainly USC, California playing great. The Trojans, we know Tim Floyd does a terrific coaching job, and they'll throw multiple defenses at California. And the Washington State-UCLA game tonight, I mean, look at the great game they had at Pauley Pavilion where Washington State did win that game, and Caleb Rochester had 33 and played them close up in Pullman also. So, you know, you really got two toss-up games in the night pack.
Boggs' long three was no good. Arizona, no field goals in more than 6 minutes. That misses badly off the left side. They get a third chance as Hill pulls down the offensive rebound. Now Budiger, he's open for three. And that went halfway down and came out, and Hill with another rebound. And finally,
they get a foul.
I think they are going to get Pendergraft on that foul.
Yeah, that's a huge call.
So Pendergraft picks up his fourth foul. I'm sure Herb Sendek will sit him. 10-point ball game, 6:01 remaining. So Arizona State leads it by 10, 6:01 remaining. A long dry spell for Arizona. Their last basket was 6 minutes and 15 seconds ago. You can still come to any of these Pacific Life Pac-10 tournament games. In fact, we'll give you a double dip for only $40. That's any session, including tonight's session. Two great games tonight, UCLA and Washington State, California and USC. Any of the games tomorrow, both games, outstanding games tomorrow. You can do it for $40. That's a great entertainment.
Yeah,
it will be entertaining.
It will be entertaining. And, Arizona has done everything possible here. They have missed about 11 shots in a row. Finally, Budinger gets one down.
They've missed 11 shots in a row is right. And Budinger, who was 2 for 12 prior to that shot, finally gets one down. And remember, Chase Budinger comes off his most productive weekend of the season. He had 28 points in each of the two games last weekend and shot 61%. So let's see if that doesn't get it started. Kutsic has the answer at the other end.
And remember, Kutsic, Barry, 80% of his shots that he's taken for the year have been threes. So there's a block. That's a good block.
That was Boateng with a block. Here's Harden ahead of everybody.
How do you like it? Wow. I think that was emphatic. So you block it at one end and you make the transition at the other, and who's there but Harden, and you can't forget about it.
12-point lead now. Biggest lead of the game. Arizona's going to have to find something that has not been there. Budinger again, not this time. But Hill with another offensive rebound. Anybody's keeping Arizona in the game. It's this guy right here. But he can't finish it, and they're going to say basket interference. Budinger up on the rim.
Now here's the block on the way up, and just a great block by Boateng, and then just give it out in the open court. I mean, is he powerful? And that angle, a good angle, but he was so high, he was above the square when he dropped it.
So now, 4 minutes and 37 seconds left. ASU pretty good at taking the air out of the ball and using a lot of the clock. So I don't believe, you mentioned this earlier, but particularly now, Arizona cannot afford too many empty trips. It's a game most people feel they need if they're going to make it 25 straight to the NCAA tournament.
And of course, Arizona State, they're a team that does not turn it over much. And if Harden's going to make that shot, then it would have been really trouble. So now Arizona's got to pick it up. There's still time here. They're down 10. I mean, there's 4 minutes to go. They've got to get active defensively. I think you've got to get out of the zone, play more man-to-man, take some chances.
Hard to give it up to Abbott. Abbott thought about it, didn't take it. Use a little bit more of the clock. Now Glasser.
I thought that was a really good decision that time by Abbott on the outside and Kucic. Why not use a little clock? You've got a 10-point lead. The ally for Arizona State definitely is the clock.
Call a third foul on Nick Wise.
How high was he here? Now check this out. Check it out.
Pretty good finish, I think.
Whoa. I don't think he was going to miss this, Steve.
No, I don't think so. We're coming back. We welcome you back. Barry Tompkins, Dan Balwamini alongside. ASU by 10 over Arizona. A game that most people feel Arizona needs. And ASU just kind of spreading the wealth here.
Well, Arizona State doing it. Here's Kucic, who's a prolific three-point shooter, and of course Harden on the breakaway. And that's the one thing you've got to force Harden, as Ernie Kent said up in the booth, to be a jump shooter, not give him layups in the open court. And here's what's on the line for Arizona. Made it to the NCAA tournament 24 consecutive times. You see Kansas, you see Kentucky in jeopardy. The record, of course, North Carolina 75 to 2001, 27 straight. And there's the architect of this Arizona program, Lute Olson, watching out and watching this game, and certainly right now, feeling that his team has to make a dramatic comeback here in the last 4 minutes.
Well, and they are capable of it. Remember, at the end of the first half, they exploded for 16 points in 4 minutes. So, not out of the question that they could do it. However, this entire second half, 16 and a half minutes, they have only 16 points.
You don't want to foul here if you're Arizona with the shot clock winding down. But now you're back man-to-man. You're trying to match up. Man-to-man. You just stop here. This one has to not go in and went in. Yeah. And the one thing about it late in the game, you get the ball to your best players. Let them make a play. And a smart move by Harden and Herb Sendek and his staff. Make sure Harden has the ball.
He's got 21 in the ball game, and he has really been the catalyst here in the second half.
And if you're the Cats, you cannot use a lot of time here. You've got to look quick.
Again, it's hard to just kind of cut Wise off. That's Jordan Hill. Boateng comes out of him. Boateng doing a nice job on Hill. Glasser got a hand on that, knocked it out of bounds. 11 on the shot clock.
Boateng has not played significant minutes in this game, Barry, but I think he's really been effective.
Yeah.
He made a difference in the first half when he came in. He gets a block shot and a breakaway and does a good job to finish. And in the second half, he's rebounded. He's got a great attitude. And that time Wise uncontested. And now if you're the Cats, you got to pick up all over.
Got to get some stops.
Got fouls to take. Hey, look at the team fouls, and both teams only have 3 team fouls in the second half. You got to take a few chances if you're Arizona. Yeah, you got to go after them. Double up. And you know that at the Sun Devils, when they double, then you know they're going to want to put the ball in the middle of the floor.
Glasser way up top. Now Glasser got around Fogg. Boateng at the free throw line. Thought about it. Ty Abbott for 3. Couldn't get that one to go. Budiger high for the rebound. Quick outlet down court to Wise. Wise to Hill.
See if in Arizona going to take a quick timeout. Now that does not happen very often against Arizona State. You saw the Sun Devils get some great breakouts and scores, but they usually do a pretty good job of getting their defense back, and that's a big, huge basket for Arizona.
Well, this is only the first of 2 this afternoon, and then, of course, 2 more in the evening session tonight. When Arizona and Arizona State get out of Dodge, it'll be Stanford and Washington. And the 2 games these 2 teams played, very close game.
Yeah, one point loss by Stanford up in Seattle, and a very close game, certainly at Stanford. So this should be a terrific game coming up. Stanford with a win last night. You see the Stanford Cardinal moving on, and Stanford, Washington, of course, the Pac-10 champions,
and playing extremely well. So Arizona not done dancing yet. It's an 8-point ball game, just under 2 minutes remaining to be played. Russ Pennell trying to get everything he can out of this team. And of course, it's an emotional game for this Wildcats team because they came in here thinking we've got to get this one. Full court pressure. Kucic having trouble getting it in. Finally does. Budiger got a hand on it. Tried to bounce it off of Glasser. and could not do it. Good play by Glasser just to get out of the way of the ball.
Well, and I thought a good defensive effort that time by Chase Budinger. Now, the key thing here when you're taking the ball out is that Kutzik's got to make sure he cannot move because it was after a violation. Now, you see, the one thing you have to do is you certainly don't want Glasser with the ball. Now, you've got fouls to take, so that's not a shooting situation. Only the 4th team foul by Arizona in the second half.
Now they're going to get Brendan Lavender in the ballgame. His first appearance, and Wise will sit. You know, the other guy that I don't want to let this game go by without mentioning, because I think he really was a factor for Arizona State, is Ty Abbott.
Ty Abbott, no doubt. He set the tone in the first half, didn't he, when he came out and he had 8 points in the first half and made a couple of threes.
He's got 11 points in the ballgame. He's got 4 rebounds and 3 assists. I mean, he has been a real factor in the success of the Sun Devils in this game. And a huge confidence builder for him looking ahead to the postseason.
Of course, the Cats have a few fouls to take. Might as well take another foul. Take another foul.
They try to poke it away from Glass, but couldn't do it. He penetrated, not Pendergrass. And now they just look like people away. Kuchik's going to dribble out of it.
You got to make a foul here. You've got to force Arizona State to get in the 1-and-1. It's still out of bounds.
Finally, Brendan Lavender did. The time ticked off the clock. So, long way back here for the Cats. Now, stranger things have happened, but Arizona State doing a very good job of playing keep away.
And I think right now, the mindset for Arizona State is you just want to use as much clock as you can before they foul you. And that's a smart foul.
Now, the last time it took 17 ticks off the clock before Lavender could finally foul Harden. Now Abbott will go to the free throw line.
If you're wondering, Ty Abbott, a 67% free throw shooter. It's a 1-and-1.
And he misses. And Jordan Hill with the rebound. So don't go anywhere quite yet. 8-point game. Cats with the basketball.
And I think right now, if you're Arizona, Barry, I think the mindset, you got to be thinking 3 unless you get an automatic inside. Maybe another timeout here. No timeout, so they're just going to get after it.
So now it's a 6-point game and a quick foul. And that'll put Harden at the free throw line. Still a 1-and-1. Well, coming up after the game, we're going to talk about the great freshman crop this year. And we'll talk about the Washington Huskies. They have gone from being the hunters to being the hunted. Coach Ernie Kent with Michael Eaves and Don McClain kind of fill you in and back tag this game and tell you about the game upcoming as well. Lots to talk about between games. Harden rolls it in.
The amazing story, the very intriguing with Washington picked 5th in the preseason polls. So Lorenzo Romar and his Husky team really had an outstanding season. So did Herb Sendek. You know, Herb is a master coach and, really did a great job at all the stops he's been, Miami, North Carolina State. I mean, he's a wonderful coach and has done really a marvelous job here at Arizona State. Trying to win a Pacific Light Pac-10 tournament game for the first time in a long time.
And Wise could not get that one to fall, and Hill makes an immediate foul, and now it's going to be a real long shot for the Wildcats. 1 minute and 4 seconds remaining. It's an 8-point game, and Harden will go back to the free throw line. James Harden with 23 points in this ball game. And Arizona now very likely will just have to depend on what the guys in those smoky rooms have to say on Sunday. They're 19-12. I mean, they still have a pretty good case. They would be 19-13. They've got quality wins. And, of course, they have a legacy. And that has to be taken into consideration.
I think it will be. And the other thing that you have to remember is that when the committee sits there, they don't look at one game in a tournament or actually how you finish. They look at the whole season. Now, you've got to think about it. They did beat Kansas, Gonzaga, UCLA, Washington, and San Diego State. So you're right, Dave. They have definitely had some quality wins. But now you're at the mercy of what happens in all the other tournaments around the country. And if you're an Arizona fan, you better hope there's not a whole lot of upsets.
Yeah, that's the thing. And, of course, there already have been. So Baylor beats Kansas today in the Big 12 tournament. James Harden, of course, has not lost to the Arizona Wildcats in his 2-year career at ASU. And, of course, should ASU go on win this game, it would be their 5th straight, and Glasser misses the front end. But now it is a 2-shot situation.
If you recall, Barry, in the game in Tempe, remember how Herb Sendek did the same thing, and Arizona did get a rebound, but he has all his players in the right spot to defend the last shot of the game, and it turned out well. So it's really been a tough afternoon for Chase Budinger. He just did not have a good shooting game after averaging 20 a game in his last 10. Jordan Hill's going to pick up a foul. And Jordan has really had a great year for Arizona. Jordan Hill and Nick Wise, and Jordan just a fine young man. And certainly, when the NBA people are thinking, they're thinking, Jordan Hill and James Harden, and they're kind of like that 4 or 5 spot. Going to probably go in the top 5 of the draft.
And each did his part in this ballgame. Jordan Hill has 20 points and 13 rebounds, kind of a routine double-double. You come to expect that of him. And James Harden, of course, 17 points in the second half. He's got 25 in the ball game. And, the 2 guys who have the star power really stepped up in this game.
Again, when you say that James Harden had 25, if you watch this game, I'm sure the folks around here would not guess he had 25 points. He is not a volume shooter. He's just a guy that's very efficient and gets to the foul line.
Herb Pendle has decided enough is enough. He brings Hill, Budinger, and Wise out of the ball game. Tough night, or a tough day, I should say, for sure, for Chase Budinger. Only 3 of 15 from the field. Conversely, a great win for James Harden and the Arizona State Sun Devils. That kind of kickstarts them into the Pacific Life Pac-10 tournament, and of course into the NCAA tournament as well.
And of course a seeding game for Arizona State. They're obviously trying to get as high a seed as they possibly can. Go a long way here in the Pacific Life Pac-10 tournament. And very impressive second half. They came out and really gained control of the game, and their defense was superb. And I thought Glasser, this young man with the ball here, was really another difference maker. So Glasser, Abbott with his perimeter game, Kucic with his passing, of course Harden and Pendergraft, just sensational. So congratulations to Arizona State. And Arizona's going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's right. They got to play the waiting game, and that's I'm sure there'll be some very anxious moments down in Tucson. And they had an opportunity in this ball game, but I think James Harden and the Sun Devils just absolutely shut them down. It was the defense that really made the big difference, I thought, for the Sun Devils.
Well, they played tremendous defense, and that's not to say that this man, Jordan Hill, didn't have a great game, but Herb Sendek's got to be extremely happy with his team. The first win for Arizona State in the Pacific Life Pac-10 tournament since 1990.
That's right. Because there were a few years where there was no Pac-10.
And they had a tough loss last year. Remember the over-the-back call when Pendergraft went in, and they thought they had won that game, and they lost a tough one last year.
Ultimately cost them the NCAA tournament as well. Right now, here's Chris McGee with James Harden. Chris.
Thanks, Barry. James, I know this rivalry is so important to both schools, as you just get a nice little push there from Horn. It's so important to both schools. For you to go 5-0 in your first 2 years, how have you guys been able to do that?
It's a great honor. I have great teammates, great coaches, who work hard, and to be successful. So like I said, we had a good team. Arizona's a great team, and we played a great game.
In the first half, Jordan Hill established himself late in that first half. Pressure was getting you guys a little bit. What adjustments did you guys make?
We just turned it up in the second half. We played our game. We did what we did on the offensive end and defensive end. That's what was our mindset to lock down. And I think we did a pretty good job of that today.
I know this is just a small goal. You guys have now reached it. What does this win and this season mean to you and this program, especially guys like Jeff and Derek?
It's great, especially to beat your rival. Arizona's a great program. They have a great tradition, and Arizona State is coming up. So that's what we're looking for, and that's what we hope to continue to do here at this program, is to get great players and make it a powerhouse school.
James Harden, good luck this week and next week. James Harden, an unbelievable performance. Once again, 27 points on the day. Barry?
All right, thanks very much, Chris. 27 points on the day. His mom, Manya Willis, of course, needless to say, thrilled about the performance of her son. Harden had 19 points in the second half. Arizona, as a team, had 22, and that really kind of tells you everything you need to know as Arizona State wins it 68-56. They move on. So an outstanding win in our game one. Still to come, of course, Stanford and Washington in the day session, and then 2 great games coming up this evening as well. Michael Eaves, Don McClain, Ernie Kent will tell you everything about this game and tell you what's coming as well That's all coming up right after this.